Hey there. We're gonna show what are the scopes that are requested and what they are used for. This is our application in its default first run state or initial state. What it is doing is that, or what it is intended to do, is to read all the events in your calendars and check which days you have availability after considering what you are already committed to in the calendar, and then print it out like this. It tells you the day, the date, and the time that you have available in that time range. This 9 to 5 query, or this like this, it's clean, it's giving us the full range because right now I don't have any events in my main calendar. um, These events that we're seeing here, I have in a test calendar that I have access to. So I'll give you an example. We're going to go to query settings, and we're going to tell it at the bottom of the settings to consider the test calendar. And now I go back and refresh the query. So what it does is that instead of querying only my personal calendar as it was doing a minute ago, it is also going to query the test calendar, and it's going to tell me what days and times am I able to say I have availability. In this case, for example, it is telling us that the 12th, the 8th, I have availability starting from 9 a.m. up until 1 p.m. Then there's a break here. I must have an activity that day lasting 1 hour. And then I have availability starting 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So let's take a quick look here. This is 12:08, so that's tomorrow. So I'm looking from 9 to 5, so that my range is from here to here. What it's doing is that it's noticing that there are actually two events tomorrow at 1 p.m. So therefore that time it's not considered available, and it tells me that I have this block in the beginning and this block in the end up until 5. The same thing happens for the next day, but it's 2 hour block because of these two elements, and so on and so forth. This is the main functionality of the application, and this is why we request these two scopes. Calendar read only lets us see what calendars you have access and control over, and calendar events read only let us consult the events so that we know the time frames in which they are committed, and we can produce the output normally. Additionally, what you can do, and the reason why we have these two other options, contacts and external request, is because when you make a query, these settings that we have right here only allows to use the calendars that you will see in your calendar app right here. But if you had already made this evaluation, you could additionally get in here an email from someone who has actually shared your availability with you, his availability with you. So for example, I'm going to select this, and what it's going to do is that it's going to check my query against the target calendar if it has its public it's free busy information publicly shared, or if it's shared with you by its owner. So in this case, it queried the target calendar and considered 6 events. However, none of those events intersects with the timeframes we're evaluating, so the output remains the same. If he had had more activities, or activities that blocked one of the available times, this output would have adjusted to that, and this would have indicated the additional time that was removed from the availability pool. So that's what these two functions are for: a context and a script external request. I couldn't find a smaller out so that I could only see the contact emails, because that's kind of all I'm using, and that's it. So finally send emails at you. You say, okay, I'm happy with that. I want to send an email to this guy. So I'm gonna go ahead and and click that button. And what it does is that it copies this output to you. It sets the target email also like as an objective, and lets you go ahead and write something to that. Normally what you would go ahead and do here is like perhaps use this as the beginning of an email where you're sharing the availability that you have or that you're evaluating for different things, because this allows you, for example, to use a calendars that belong to spaces or something and decide which ones are like blocking your availability output, which is this one right here. Additionally, should there be any kind of problem, here in other options, we have the create operation report. What this does, I mean, like the application does not communicate with any outside server. The URL fetch call is to the calendar API that is not AppScripts. Uh, so the create operation report, what it does is that you get an email from yourself with the information of the event, the call that was made. It says hi, whatever you said, have as name. This email was generated by this button in this application, and you're free to review all the information here. If you want to add any commentary or also perhaps scrub information that might be sensitive. So it tells you who executed the application, what iteration of application it is, the output, the calendars that were selected, the days that you were looking for in the settings, the range that it is being evaluated, the dates, the UTC that is currently considering. And then this is an expression of the available time in the range that you were looking for each day and the events that were blocking a given time frame in here. Like for example, these two events block the same time frame in here, which I mean like this AO considered available or occupied. And that's that. This is sent to yourself, and the idea is that you would be actually forwarding that to Synchonicity support at Damian.app, so that I mean like if we do not collect any information, not even for technical support that you did not send to us, like that's part of it. And that's pretty much it. So that's why we use send email as you see edit, download permanently, delete your contacts. Again, if we can get a smaller thing just to read emails, that's good enough. And about the ones up here, which are the not so sensitive ones, but it's just common stuff. Your email, to see if we can check your first name, so that it can run as a calendar add-on. And this we use because we can make time zone output conversions in the app. So let's say if you want to go ahead and provide this information to someone in a different time zone, you would go ahead and type here the time zone like you want to use. I can choose one from the drop down, and that's it. I'm gonna use this settings changed, saved. You come back here, you refresh your availability, and it will shift the time output to the time zone that you selected. So let's see if the person you're talking to is anywhere else where you are not. You select this and it shifts you like to the target time zone. So that way you can like share it. Oh, that's very will be very inconvenient for a target person, but that's its current state. So that's that. That's the reason why we have each one of these abilities or scope requested, and that's pretty much it. Please let me know if there's anything else that is required.